Hello, and welcome into another episode of Farm to Fame. I am Kelsey Wingert. That is Peter Moylan, and that is Maddie Mass.
This is Winnie.
That is Winnie, and this is
Bye,
Ellie. I feel like half of our listeners are now going to hate me if they haven't yet realized that I have a cat. But I feel like I need to explain myself, okay?
You're just a cat lady. That's fine.
Well, look, I love dogs. I love little pups. I would love to have a little pup that I could go on runs with and take on walks. But when you work in baseball and you're not married and you have nobody at your home,
place of residence,
when you're on the road a lot, like I was, it's very expensive to pay someone to come walk your dog 2 or 3 times a day when you're on a 10-day road trip numerous times a year. Yes, Peter.
Nobody walks their dog 2 or 3 times a day.
How many times? What if they have to poo-poo?
They poo outside. You just let them out the backyard.
Okay, well, I'm sorry that all of us don't have a backyard. I live in an apartment complex. I don't got a gate.
Also live inside the perimeter.
I will move OTP eventually, but cats are self-sufficient and you can leave them for, Peter left us. You can leave cats for 3 days and they have food and water and they're fine. So she's a good girl.
She's still a cat, but yeah, it's fine. As far as cats go, she's not a dog. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
So good.
So good.
Got a bit of a sore wrist.
Oh no.
From all the painting that I did over the weekend. But
yeah, Peter and Mandy redid their kitchen and it looks very nice. Very bright.
Way brighter.
But I like the contrast of the cabinets and the counters. But it's still bright, even with the dark counters. Very good.
Eventually, the plan is to get a new kitchen. But in the interim, I just didn't want to stare at brown and grossness. So I decided to paint it.
Yeah. And Maddie Mass pointed out your fridge.
Yeah.
Why does your fridge have a screen that big?
I think it's a gimmick, but you can knock on it and it opens the glass so you can see what's in your. So there's a drink section. That big glass thing hides the drink section. So behind the drink section, so you just, instead of opening the whole fridge to get whatever drinks you want, there's a little drink section right at the front. So you can pop open that glass bit. You can knock on it first of all and it clears it up so you can see what's in there before you open it. Then you can open it and choose a drink and close it without having to open up the whole fridge.
I'm so glad that you have that because opening up the whole fridge is such a pain.
Man, I'm telling you, you know what it does? It saves energy, Kelsey. It's not about physical exertion. It's about saving that amount of, I'm saving the environment one fridge opening at a time.
Got it.
Okay? It's effectively what I'm doing.
Got it. Wow.
Don't worry about the V8 car that I drive, but.
You're changing the world. You're changing lives.
I like to think so, Kelsey. Yeah, I really do. No one loves me like I love me. So as long as I have a good opinion of myself, that's all that matters.
That's deep. Maddie Mass, how are you?
I'm good. I open my fridge the same amount as the average person. So not saving lives.
Nope.
So that's on me.
Not even one bit.
No.
But you keep Peter and I on track,
which
is helping lives, you know?
Yeah.
Today's bat is brought to you by David Wright. Maddie Mass and I were talking right before we came on, while we were patiently waiting for the third member of our group to arrive. And we're going to have a talk about Jarred Kelenic a little bit. So just to give Mets fans a bit of a smile, this is David Wright telling me that it's always fun to compete against me. So there we go.
Thank you, David Wright.
Thank you, David Wright.
I'm fired up because the high school baseball team I watched, the Alatoona Buccaneers, are in the 6A Georgia semifinals. They're in the Final Four. So straight from this, I'm going to a double header. They're playing Houston County, I think.
Is that like?
It's spelled Houston.
I was just going to say, it sounds like it should be spelled Houston.
Yeah. So if they win, it's a 3-game series. They play a doubleheader today on Monday. And if they split, they'll play a game 3 tomorrow. But Alatoona has swept every team in the playoffs this year and hasn't had to play a game 3. But if they win today, they will be in the state championship next Monday, which I just realized as I said that is also the day we record, at Truist Park, which is kind of neat for those high schoolers. So, yeah, they're big Talkin' Jake fans, that team. They think he's the funniest guy in baseball, but I think it's because they haven't gotten to hear you talk that much yet, Peter.
I was just going to say, it's a stretch. That is a stretch.
So, Peter kind of mentioned we want to send our sincerest thoughts and condolences to New York Mets fans. We understand that it's been a weird couple of weeks for you guys. You know, what, Lindor wasn't playing that well. And then there was a raccoon situation that was the worst cover-up story I've ever heard in my entire life. And then Jarred Kelenic debuted. But the Mets are playing pretty good right now, I think.
They're in first place, but I mean, anyone short of pissing down their own leg could be in first place right now in the East, but that's my expert opinion on what's happening in the NL East right now. I'm serious though. I mean, it's not like it's up for grabs. It's every week was like, well, someone has got to take control, but no one seems to want to take control of that division. So, which is great for anyone who's a fan of a team in the NL East, because it is legitimately anybody's game right now.
Well, our opener segment today is going to be about Jarred Kelenic's debut.
Yeah.
Because this was like, I feel like one of the most exciting, like you get on social media, people were fired up to see this guy debut. His debut, he was a little quiet, went hitless, and then he went off in his second game. And if you follow our social media account, our Twitter account especially, that Maddie Mass does a great job with, I mean, he was just on it. And Kelenic, 3 for 4, 3 extra base hits, 2 runs. He had 2 doubles and a home run were the 3 hits he had, 3 RBI. And Peter, in his first at bat, he struck out. And in that next at bat, when he hit a home run, it was on that same pitch he struck out on, and it was beautiful. It was
lesson learned. Got to take the right approach.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that they're saying about him, is that he's such an advanced hitter and he can make adjustments, and we saw that. So
I just want to talk about the only real taste of something like this that I've had was when Jason Hayward got called up, and the excitement surrounding Jay Hay's debut, and obviously to see what he did, hitting a 3-run homer off Zambrano. But yeah, I don't think that obviously the debut or the week that you come up necessarily sets your career off in the path that it's always going to be on. But when you come up, make an impact instantly, it sort of gives the fans hope that everything that they've been reading and hearing about is actually true. So this kid did it all. 2 hustle doubles too, not even like, just a double off the wall and I'll just ease into second base. Got on his horse in the first one, and then jam shot off a fastball over the third baseman where he again beat it. He's not elite sprint speed, but he's fast enough. Real toolsy, real great swing, competitor. I can't say enough about him. He's gonna be a stud, I think. Hasn't done much since that 3-hit game, but he was raking in AAA before he got called up.
Yeah, 6 games in AAA, and he was hitting .370 with 2 home runs.
Yeah,
6 runs and 5 RBI again in 6 games.
And in 2019, he hit .291 with 31 doubles, 23 homers, and only in 117 games. So,
wow.
This kid's been on the radar for a long time. Obviously, there was the pre-spring training debacle with Kevin Mather going on a Zoom. Obviously, didn't know what Zoom meant and thought that Zoom was that you could just zoom in to talk to the people you want to talk to and nothing gets recorded. But I'm here to tell you that everything's recorded these days, big boy. So, it's just unfortunate that that's the way that all that came out. We all know that it happens. We all know that that's what GMs and owners and they all want to manipulate service time. But just the fact that he so blatantly came out and worded it the way that he did, it's got to make Seattle fans frustrating. And he obviously lost his job. So that's enough on that matter. But Jarred Kelenic, man, his parents were there for that game too. His girlfriend was there. Mm-hmm. I always love seeing the reactions of family and friends, and because you forget that it's probably the mum and dad driving him to travel ball every day and every week. So to see all that hard work and the pride that you have for your kids on display on national television is pretty cool.
Yeah, in that game, I mean, there were so many different stats that came out. He became the youngest AL player with 3 extra base hits out of the leadoff spot since Ricky Henderson in 1979, the youngest Mariners player with 3 extra base hits in a game since 2004, which doesn't really sound that long ago, but it kind of is.
Yeah.
Like if you put it, I feel like anything past 2000 doesn't sound like that long ago, but like 2021 minus 4 is a number that I'm not going to tell y'all, but it's 17, I think. So the 17 whole years, not a math part.
Never has a shirt been more effective than that, just right now.
Oh, man. Yeah, so it was a big debut for him, and we're going to get into talking about somebody who will likely see with him, Julio Rodriguez, another young Mariners.
Don't give away too much. We want to keep him coming back, Kels.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. Logan Gilbert, who is the Mariners' top pitching prospect, also debuted on the day that Kelenic debuted. So lots of young guys for the Mariners, and then there's a Taylor Trammell.
So this is the hard part for me when I say teams shouldn't just break it all down and rebuild. Because when you look around, and it's been a couple of years since Seattle had some success, they've done pretty well with the draft picks. And now you look at their farm system and the team that they've got, and you're like, man, okay, well, in a couple of years, this team's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm thinking, obviously, selfishly, I want everybody to try and compete and everybody to try and win. But when you see something like the Astros or the Royals or whoever it is that it breaks it all down and then ends up with these studs that they develop themselves, that get a chance to play with each other from A ball right the way up, get a taste of being that team. And then all of a sudden, the same guys that you've been playing A ball with, all of a sudden you're in the big leagues and you're having just as much fun. You're doing like, it's hard for me to defend against it. It really is. But I don't want to see a team like the Orioles. Like I'm not going to go pay money to go watch the Orioles play.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the thing that fans, they want to be able to go spend money on their team. But at the same time, they're like, okay, well, if we just wait 2 or 3 years and just tread water, then in 3 years' time, we're going to have a bunch of superstars up here. And it's not going to cost us $200 million. So I see both sides, and I just don't know what the solution to it is.
This is a curveball for the opener segment.
Well done on the wrist, by the way. Well done.
Teams rebuilding and superstars. Maybe think real quickly, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Albert Pujols to the Dodgers.
Oh my! I've got that down in my notes. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't understand it. I don't.
Do you like it?
No.
Do you not like it?
I don't not like it. I just don't understand it. I don't see what benefit the Dodgers get out of that deal. Is it just strictly a guy off the bench? Maybe he's going to be like away longer than what we think. You know, a simple little injury where he gets the back of his foot stepped on and we haven't seen him for 3 weeks. Nothing was really mentioned. Like, did he rupture his Achilles and we just don't know about it? Like, why would you go out and make that move if you're the Dodgers?
I think I saw a report that he went to the Cardinals and said that he would be open to playing there in a part-time role, but also if they paid him like a mentorship fee.
Because you're making $20 million, you need a mentorship fee?
Well, that's where I get a little confused. So the Angels are paying that 20 million, right? And then another team is going to pay him even more money on top of that, likely, or how does that work?
I think he can sign a separate deal, but if he signs with another team, the Dodgers just pay him the equivalent of the league minimum right now. So the Dodgers pay him $580,000 and they get a $20 million, well, they get a player who's making $20 million. I'm not calling him a $20 million player, but.
It's interesting that he was so against being a part-time player for the Angels, but he's okay doing it with the Dodgers. And I don't know if it's because you think the Dodgers obviously likely have a better shot at him winning a title with them or what it may be. But I was, again.
That's why I felt like that story that the Cardinals just felt too convenient. Like it just, obviously everybody would love to see him go back to St. Louis and even retire a Cardinal. Basically, everything that made Albert Pujols was done as a Cardinal. So you'd like to think that, but I mean, he's gone. It's happened. It's official, right? There's no hearsay. It's actually, he has signed with the Dodgers.
Let's talk about some young guys now.
Oof, fire it up.
All right. Our Rookie of the Year watch is once again brought to you by our friends, our dear friends, our farmer friends at Manscaped. Okay. We love Manscaped. They were our first ever sponsor and we'll never, ever forget it. They are the best in men's below the waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Same thing.
You tried. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, which is what I just showed you guys. The Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right.
You sure did.
It's the Lawnmower 4.0. You guys, over 2 million people worldwide use this. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of hair.
So if you want to join them, we have an exclusive offer for you guys, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FARM at manscaped.com. 2 million people trust this product.
You don't want to be the only people that aren't doing it. So get on there and do it.
Yeah.
Your wife will thank you. Your boyfriend will thank you. Your girlfriend will thank you.
It is waterproof, which is probably good. LDE spotlight and power status indicator. It's rechargeable, but wireless charging.
Yes. It sits in a little cradle. You just grab it, funk, 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 put it back. Away you go.
Peter's been using it. He likes it. So
correct.
You can get 20% off and free worldwide shipping for our Melbourne Aces fans at manscaped.com using the code FARM.
It's a confidence builder. Just get down there and get rid of what you're growing down there. Trust me, you'll like what you see.
Just a little bit.
Just extend it. Extend it. Extend it.
So we love Manscaped, and we also love a lot of our rookies. And this is a very exciting.
Great segue.
Thank you. Very exciting moment for us.
Is it?
It's time for our king. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is back, baby. He's back. They flew him to LA on Saturday.
That wasn't even for baseball. That is when just wanted him to show up in Hollywood and be like, "What's up?"
Oh yeah, boy has Hollywood written all freaking over him.
Those new uniforms, by the way.
Oh, those new uniforms are so clean.
If we don't get sent a new uniform hat or something, I mean, you see this right here? Team of the week, right there, San Diego Padres. If I get a new Marlins hat, that might be my new team of the week. I don't care what they do. They can go 0-7 this week. Team of the week, Marlins.
And Jazz was a model for them, so we love that.
The hair matches the blue in the uni too.
Where's the picture I sent you guys earlier? I'm sorry for our audio only people who won't get to see it.
I've printed it out and framed it already. Look at that. Is that your background, Kelsey?
It should be. That's some sauce, right?
That is beyond that. The colors though,
yeah. He's our drip king. And we haven't gotten to say that in a while because he's been on the IL since April 28th with a left hamstring strain, Peter.
Of course, he went deep in AAA. Just a little, this guy can't stop raking.
He had 3 rehab games with the jumbo shrimp. I love minor league baseball. He went 4 for 9 with a double, a home run, 4 RBI, 3 runs, and a stolen base. And he was activated on Sunday. We are filming this on Monday. So that was yesterday for the series finale versus the Dodgers in Los Angeles. And Peter, he went 2 for 5 with a stolen base.
He's back. Look, can I admit something real quick on this pod?
Yeah.
This is an honesty pod.
Yeah, true.
When Jazz Chisholm initially compared himself to Ronald Acuna Jr. at the start of the year, I was a little taken back. I was leading the pump that breaks crew on Jazz Chisholm. But since then, he's made me a believer, and the rest of the league is now a believer. So shout out to you, Jazz. Congratulations. Welcome back. Keep doing your thing because you're a stud.
Drip King, Sauce King, Prospect King. His 2 hits yesterday upped his average to 297. Boys almost hitting 300, and 8 stolen bases, which is the best in the NL, tied with Garrett Hampson, which really? I was a little taken back by. But what's crazy is that, like we mentioned, he's been on the IL since April 28th. And as we film this, it is March 17th. And he had 7 stolen bases before April 28th. And then that was good enough to maintain the lead in the NL for a solid 3 weeks.
How many homers has he got? 5, did you say?
4, 5?
4, 5. Okay. He might go 25 is probably where as high as I'd go. Maybe 20. He might go 20-50. But yeah. I'm thinking like, you know, the 40-40 watch with Acuna.
Yeah.
I don't know that Acuna's going to get the stolen bases this year to get the 40-40. I think he's going to hit 60 homers, but I don't think he's going to get to 40 stolen bases. But yeah, that's going to be a nice little rivalry to watch between the Marlins and the Braves coming for the next few years.
I totally get when he compared himself to Acuna, how that took you back a little bit. Thank you. I don't think I don't think anybody should be comparing themselves to Ronald Acuna Jr., but I do understand much better now that they do have a lot of the same skill set. So I understand his comparison in that way, with the speed, the excitement, the power.
Shall we stick with the fish and go with the Rookie of the Year watch right now? Or what are we doing?
Yeah. Fish who pitch.
Yeah, I love it. So Trevor Rogers has been the pitcher of consistency this year. Basically, the two guys I'm about to talk to next, Trevor Rogers, I'll start with. Pitches his 8th game, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks, 87 pitches. So all this guy's done for the season so far: 5-3, 8 games, 1.84 ERA with 57 punch outs in 44 innings. But it's the way that he's doing it. He's not just relying on obviously the stuff is off the charts. Fastball's up to 98. Really good breaking ball, change up as well. You know, it's not like it's a secret now. They've seen what he's got, and he continues to do it. Like he dominates the top of the zone. He can throw down the bottom of the zone. He's throwing to all 4 quadrants. He's deceptive with his delivery. He's ticking all the boxes right now. And shout out to him for another performance that just. He's got to be favorite for the Rookie of the Year right now in the hour.
His 184 ERA that you mentioned is 5th best in Major League Baseball, behind Jacob deGrom,
who's not human,
John Means, Garrett Cole,
reasonable,
Brandon Woodruff,
again reasonable,
and then Trevor Rogers. So that the fact that he is hanging up there with those names, and then you look at the guys below him who he's beating out in ERA. I mean, Trevor Bauer, Max Scherzer. I mean, these guys, right? I mean, he is having a heck of a year, not just by rookie standards, but by baseball
he's putting himself up there as a elite starter. Just add it to the list of elite starters that the Marlins have got, by the way.
When we tell you the fish who pitch, the fish pitch.
Yeah, ain't no doubt about that. But my point is also, we're not only just looking at Rookie of the Year watch, we might be looking at a Cy Young watch, especially if deGrom continues to have the injury troubles that he's had, and doesn't pile up the innings that he's going to, like, we could be looking at a Cy Young Rookie of the Year sweep.
He's definitely going to be in those discussions if he maintains what he's doing. Yes. And that is
It's impressive stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the game that you talked about this week, because he's from New Mexico, so he had a bunch of friends and family and high school coaches drive in town, and his parents wore shirts that said, "Take a seat." So yeah, Trevor Rogers, if you don't know who he is,
figure it out.
Get on Twitter, watch our podcast, do something. All right, Peter, who do you want to go
Ian Anderson,
to?
just while we're talking pitchers. And
okay.
Ian Anderson took a no-no into the 7th inning against Milwaukee this weekend, but he's also putting up similar numbers to Trevor, but he's had a couple of rough ones, and he doesn't quite have the strikeout stuff that Rogers has got. But I mean, he can in certain times. He'll punch out 10 in a week, but then other games he'll walk 4 and strike out 4 and manage to get through 7 innings. But just the difference in the way that they're using them, Ian's had the freedom to sort of go a little bit longer as far as pitch count goes. Maybe that's due to lack of depth in the starting rotation with the Bravos. But it's interesting to see how the Fish are managing in a year that they're really not expected to win, and the Bravos are managing their rookie in a year that they are expected to win. So I think that's another thing. The Fish are sort of planning for the next few years, and after 2020, the shortened year, we talk about it every week. Big thing's going to be managing the workload of starting pitchers, and I think that's what we're seeing with the Fish. And obviously, the Braves have got that win now mentality, so they can't really afford to rest it like the Fish can. But Ian Anderson, shout out to you. Keep doing it, bro. Well done.
Yeah, I mean, Ian Anderson, every start besides one, he's gone at least 5 innings. And I think that's the exact same thing for Trevor Rogers, but the difference is in Trevor Rogers' case, the only game he didn't go 5 was the first game, and he only went 4, which, that's the thing. Also, do you know who Cody Ross is?
Yeah, the former Marlin, former Giant, former Red Sox. Yeah.
That's his cousin.
Is it really?
Yeah, he was at the game. He had a suite. He was at the game. He won a World Series with the Giants, played for the Marlins from 06 to 08. And then
What's Cody Ross's numbers against me? Can you check that out, please, Matty Mass?
Yeah, I want to know too.
Me too.
You've won this matchup. 154 batting average, 1 single, 1 double in 15 plate appearances.
I kind of knew that. That's why I asked you.
3 ground into double plays, but 1 hit by pitch.
Probably on purpose.
Probably.
Yeah, you probably said something wrong.
Sorry, Cody.
Not sorry, Cody. You had a good career. You won a World Series. Let me have this one.
Yeah, he did. He did do that. Congratulations on the win, Peter.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Jonathan India on the best show flow in the game.
Correct.
It's long.
It's beautiful. And he's really picked it up this
long.
week. He was on a slide. He was 3 for these last 37 and sort of sitting a few times, but went to Coors Field, homered in consecutive games. Congratulations. He was on our initial Rookie of the Year watch. So hopefully he can pick it up with a little bit more consistent playing time. He can spend a little bit of time in the IL, but just one weekend, he raised the slash line from 208, 304, 312 to 235, 320, and 412. So that in itself was a pretty good weekend. But again, hopefully he gets a little bit more consistent playing time. Hopefully he can be a little bit more consistent when he gets that playing time. And we see this kid who rakes continue to rake.
We talked about him a lot in our first few episodes because up until April 15th, he was hitting 325. And then he kind of started to drop off. He went on the IL. He got an injury. This is a dude who went to Florida. He was a first-round pick in 2018, and he was really, really good at Florida. And it's an SEC school, so they're really good. But, yeah, he had a good week. He's still hitting 233 overall, but he is getting consistent playing time. He's also getting it done with the glove as well. And he's going to be someone who we're going to be talking about for years to come, I think. Good all-around player, good all-around hair. Maybe he'll get some kind of shampoo deal. I can't believe Dansby Swanson doesn't have any kind of shampoo deal. But maybe Jonathan in India will get one because it's longer.
That's out of left field.
I'm just thinking about hair. Okay. We'll see him pick it back up. He's starting to pick it back up. That is Jonathan India. Now we get to talk about Adolis Garcia for the Texas Rangers. This dude, he didn't get brought up until April 13th, Peter, which I think is what makes his numbers even more impressive. When you put in perspective that he has 10 home runs and 27 RBI, which are at the top of the boards, but he has 2 weeks less than everybody else. Yeah. He hasn't played the full season. I mean, it makes his numbers that much more impressive.
He led the AL in homers in April, and he missed the first 13 12 days. So that's on some sort of pace.
So yeah, Adolis Garcia's had a great season. He's hitting 289 overall. His 10 home runs, as you would likely expect, lead all rookies, but the next closest is 5. So like nobody's even close to him. And not to mention that he's been really good defensively.
Yeah,
he's
making plays.
Gotten some guys out at the plate.
Yeah.
He has been very good for the Rangers. And
he was a non-roster invitee in spring training too.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about playing your way onto the roster. 28 years old too.
Yeah, that's crazy. But so good for him, man. So good for him. And he gets to play in that beautiful ballpark. Last guy we're going to talk about in our Rookie of the Year watch is a guy who we've talked about a ton. So we probably won't talk about him too much. But it's Yermin Mercedes, of course. We are in the middle of May, and he's still hitting 358.
But was this a comeback to Earth Week for him? Because I mean, he got 6 hits for the week, but he only hit 6 singles. Maybe he's getting pitched a little differently. Maybe he's just trying not to. I think I talked about this last week, where he's sort of cut down the power stroke a little bit. But yeah, obviously, when you burst on the scene like that, people are going to research and find out ways to get you out. And he's probably not getting anything near what he was getting to hit for the first month of the season. So, but when he's still hitting 360, and we're in May, it's a pretty cool story.
And that's kind of like when he came up. That's what people were freaking out about over his power. Nice. And now it's kind of transitioned to he's maintaining a high batting average. So Yermin Mercedes, he got the day off on Thursday and had a pinch hit RBI single. That's the only day he got off.
That's a good day. Ugh.
Yeah, that's a fun day.
Come off the bench and just get a knock 1 for 1, take it to the house. Thanks very much. You probably have to play defense. So.
In April, Yermin Mercedes hit 415 with 5 home runs, and that earned him AL Rookie of the Month. And in May, he's sitting 243 with no home runs. So 243 like isn't good, but it isn't like whatever. So do you think that is like you were talking about earlier? Do you think that that's more pitchers learning how to pitch to him, or do you think that
it's a combo of both? Like it's a combo. I would assume that hitting is as much about confidence as it is anything else. And then when you get up to such a hot start, I'm sure the ball looked like it was the size of a beach ball, but. Yeah, guys are going to look at what you've done and how you've had success and what pitches you've been able to hit. They'll stay away from those pitches. There's so much video and so much analytics around that it's hard to sneak around and have success anymore. If you're having success, everybody knows about it.
And everybody did know about that.
And everybody did know about that. Exactly.
He and Akil Baddoo were the talk of April. So those are our favorites currently for Rookie of the Year. Maybe like an honorable mention to a guy like Andrew Vaughn, who's turning it around. But we're going to move in to our top 10 prospects that, again, this list is developed by Maddie Mass. So you're not going to find this list anywhere else. And also, our top 10 prospects of the week are brought to you by Dugout Mugs. Peter got his and I didn't, and I'm really sad about it.
That sucks, Kelsey, because these are amazing.
How much can it fit in there?
As much as you want it to fit in there. Look at the size.
I mean, like, do you think you could pour a full 16-ounce water bottle into it? That's exciting.
And if not, it doesn't matter because you're drinking you look like a Viking when you drink out of this thing. Who doesn't want to look like a Viking?
Yeah.
I imagine this is how Vikings used to drink, just without the Braves probably logo, because I don't know if Braves were around. Were the Hank Aaron play for the Atlanta Viking? No, that wasn't him. No.
I mean, look, Peter, this would make a great Father's Day. Listen, get ahead on your gifts. It's so important to get ahead on gifts. Also, Father's Day is June 20th. It's a month away. And
buy a 6-pack of Dugout Mugs, and when you forget to buy a present, there they are. You can give it to anyone. You can give it to your dad, your mum, your brother, your sister, your dog. It doesn't matter. Everybody needs a Dugout Mug.
Can you give us a close-up of the Braves logo?
Sure. I mean, you want to talk about...
So it's made out of a bat, which is really cool.
Really cool.
But what else is really cool is we're talking about Father's Day. The first 300 orders for these Dugout Mugs, and you use the code FARM2FAME, you're going to get 35% off. The next 300 will get 30% off. The next 300 will get 25% off, and so on.
They're basically giving them away.
And the earlier you order it, you're ahead on your gifts. You can get it for your father-in-law, for your brother, for your husband, for your dad, whoever you want.
Wife.
And the sooner you order it, it's weight off of your shoulders, and it's also less money out of your pocket, because the sooner you order it, the higher the discount.
Kelsey.
Yeah.
I may not have got a hit in my big league career, but I tell you what, dugout mugs have given me one with this.
Oh, that's good, Peter.
Well done.
That's so good. So proud of you.
Thank you.
So the website to get the best discount is dugoutmugs.com/discount. Are y'all following me? /discount/farm-to-fame. So dugoutmugs.com/discount/farm-to-fame. And yeah, if you use that, and again, the code is farm-to-fame. If you're one of the first 300, you will get 35% off. That's not just like a little,
that's a lot of
like
percent.
Those influencers on their Instagram story, they're like, use my code for 10% off. I'm like, oh, great. I'll save $3.50. This is 35% off. So
again, not a math pod,
really cool
that seems like a lot.
Yeah, not a math pod, but it's like legitimately a cool gift. Like anybody in your life who like loves baseball.
Just real quick, just on that. Okay. My wife's not a big fan of sports in general. Like she loves me and what I did, but when I pulled this out, she's like, that is so cool. Legitimately, verbatim, out of her mouth, that is so cool. So, guys, girls like them too.
Yeah, just imagine sitting on your porch, having some baseball up on your...
You and your Viking friends?
Yeah, you and your Vikings, and sipping whatever the heck and bob you want to be sipping on. Okay. So Dugout Mugs sponsors our top 10 prospects. So we are going to get into it.
Go.
Zoom.
Quick fire, Kels. Quick fire.
Triston, Casas.
And we're off.
Casas. For the Red Sox, he's in Double-A. This dude's an absolute unit. Okay. Look up videos of him. First of all, he hits bombs like tanks, and he's a tank himself. He's 6'4", 252 pounds, and he just looks like he's straight up muscle. He is the Red Sox #1 prospect, first round pick in 2018, and he's just really known for his power. So he got off to a slow start, 1 for 14, but on Wednesday, my friends, he hit 2 home runs. One was a tank, like over the signage, completely out of the ballpark. He had a career high 6 RBI that day. It was a 4-hit night. He's now hitting 341 on the season with 3 home runs and 12 RBI and 951 OPS, 6 games total. He had 12 hits in 6 games, 4 multi-hit efforts, and he upped his batting average from 182 to 349.
That's a good week.
Yeah. And what's interesting about him, I was reading an article. So like I mentioned, he got off to a slow start the season. He started the season 1 for 14. Well, in 2019, in the minor leagues in Greenville, in the month of April, so the first month of the season, he hit 208 with 31 strikeouts in 27 games. Then he went on to finish that season hitting 256 with 20 home runs and 81 RBI in 120 games. And he led the Red Sox minors with 51 extra base hits and was named a postseason All-Star. So this is something that the Red Sox have seen with him, getting off to a slow start, and then he gets in the swing of it and he puts it together. But this guy is a unit. He's tanking balls. I mean, just, and he's all over Twitter. So if you see a video of him, watch it.
Sound effects.
Yeah, sound effects. He is fun to watch. He's a first baseman. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Well yes, Julio Rodriguez, Mariners #2 prospect behind. You got it. Yes. MLB's #5 prospect. Homered in 4 straight games this week.
Sheesh.
By the way, he's 20, 6'3", 180 pounds, 20, playing in High A, the Everett Aqua Sox. But he extended a hit streak to 10 games, and they're talking about a promotion. He's like on their radar for maybe next year, if not maybe this year. Majority of the time is probably going to be spent in Double-A this year, and a promotion to Double-A is probably not too far away given the week that he had this week. So now for the season in 12 games, he's got 18 hits, 5 home runs, and a 12.25 OPS.
Does he have a high average?
He's hitting 353 right now.
So yeah, okay.
Yes.
So he will be exciting, especially to see him alongside Kelenic.
And the Mariners just keep doing it. This is what I keep talking about. The Mariners are going to keep doing this over and over and over. They're all coming. They are coming.
Well, I'm going to take us a little bit out of order to stick with the Mariners.
Okay.
Because Taylor Trammell also plays for the Mariners, was sent down when Jarred Kelenic was called up, when Jarred Kelenic debuted. So he was sent down on May 13th.
Can be devastating to a young kid's career.
Yeah. But what's great about him is, first of all, he's going off in AAA right now. Secondly, he was just saying in one of his post-game interviews that he's just having fun right now. Like he's dancing in the middle of like on the field and between innings. You see him smiling. Like he's having a good time with it. And I think maybe when he was up with the big league club, obviously that's a ton of pressure. Obviously, you know that you have Jarred Kelenic breathing down your throat. You know that Julio Rodriguez is eventually going to make his way up there, and you're really trying to put your stamp. So the Mariners sent him down to work on his approach on off-speed pitches. But his first game after he got sent down, he went 4 for 5 with a home run, 2 runs, 4 RBI, and a stolen base. He's hit 3 home runs in 4 games since being sent down.
Good for him.
And in those 4 minor league games, he has 11 hits, 3 home runs, 9 RBI, and 5 runs. What is his batting average, you may ask?
Maybe.
What about 692? Okay.
Is that good?
A little bit. So yeah, Taylor Trammell, played 27 big league games this season because he broke spring with the team, but he was only hitting 157. So he's down there working on his approach to off-speed pitches. He's tearing it up. He's a Georgia boy. Chipper Jones loves him. Chipper Jones scouted him. Chipper Jones scouted him and had great things to say about Taylor Trammell on Twitter. So that is another young Mariners outfielder.
By the way, I'm talking about another Mariners prospect.
Juicy.
Noelvi Marte. Okay. Not on anyone's radar, but this dude, again, 19 years old, shortstop, probably future third baseman, had himself a week. Also, 11 hits. He's on a current 9-game hit streak where he's hitting 405 with 17 hits. So started off slow-ish, but in 49 ABs, 18 hits, 2 home runs, 5 extra base hits. Again, hitting 405 in this nine-game hit streak that he's currently on. Jeez. But another stud that the Mariners have got coming. Like that's 4 Mariners we've talked about.
That's unbelievable. That we've talked about today.
And he's not even on the list of top prospects. So I haven't read anything where he's like MLB's.
No, I hadn't. Yeah, I haven't seen that name.
But again, that's the ones we love. I don't necessarily need to read about it in Baseball America to know that they're coming. So
yeah. Well, let's stick in the AL, huh? You want to stay in the AL?
Sure.
Jose Tena for the Indians. High A. He's a middle infielder. This is a 20-year-old kid. He's from the Dominican Republic. He signed with the Indians in 2017. He is solid defensively and really known for his plus speed. Okay. But his only downfall, Peter, which is why we could potentially see him move from shortstop to second, is his arm strength.
Right. So
people also have really questioned his power, but he heard that. He heard people questioning that power. And he said, not today.
Heard that.
Not this week. You will not speak about my power. So on Friday, he hit 2 home runs, 3 extra base hit game. Went 3 for 5, a double, 2 home runs, 4 RBI, 3 runs. This week in 5 games, he had 2 3-hit games, 3 home runs, 8 hits total, again in 5 games, 7 runs, 3 home runs, and 6 RBI. He's hitting 289 on the season, which dropped a little bit because he went 0 for on Saturday. But in 2019, he hit 325 in rookie ball with only 1 home run and 18 RBI in 44 games. So he has surpassed his home run total, and he's silencing those power critics.
You didn't know this, but when you aggressively cheered for him, your bicep basically blew up my screen. Well done.
I can now bicep curl 15-pound weights, and I'm very excited about that. I know that doesn't sound like a lot to you, Peter Moylan and Maddie Bass, so I just am proud of that.
Yeah, you should be proud of that.
Thank you. Your turn.
Speaking of being proud of, I know.
Who are you proud of?
I know our friend in the top left corner of my screen right now is proud of this next guy, Deivi Garcia. Yankees pitching prospect. Finally, we're talking about a pitcher. Hey, thanks for everyone.
Yay!
Okay. So he started in the big leagues. It's got sent back down to AAA, and since being sent down to AAA, he's been pretty good. His ERA sits at 3.38 after another 5 dominant frames against probably the best name of a AAA team, the Iron Pigs. I love that name. But yeah, so far
I had a shirt. I think I had a shirt from them that had a piece of bacon on it, and you would scratch it and it smelled like bacon. My friend Anthony Flora got it for me and I loved it. It smells like bacon. Go on.
I don't think it's going to be long, depending on what happens with the starting rotation of the Yankees. But if he continues to do what he's doing, he has punched out 19 in 13.2 innings. He's got a batting average against of 182 and a whip of 1.28. He's doing pretty good things down there. So shout out to Deivi for his week. The new 6-game sets or 6-game schedules against one team. I guess he started against the Iron Pigs twice this week. So they're no longer doing the 3, 4, 5 game series. They're making teams stay for 6. So if you start game 1, you're going to face the same team again. So he did it and he dominated both. So congratulations, well done.
Yeah, good for him. Do you know who else Matty Mass is proud of? Oswald Peraza for the Yankees. He's chilling in high A right now, but he homered in 4 consecutive games this week that ended on Sunday. But in that 4 home run streak, he hit 5 home runs. So he had 1 multi-home run game for those of you who do not want to do the math. There you go. He homered in 3 straight at bats. So on Friday, he entered the game as a defensive replacement in the 7th inning. First pitch he sees, home run. Next at bat, first pitch he sees, home run. Okay.
Yeah.
So he got off to a slow start of the season, which again makes his numbers even more impressive because he's currently slashing 340, 426, 702 with 5 home runs, a pair of doubles, 9 stolen bases, which we love.
Old school.
I probably should have mentioned this. He has elite speed. So he is going to be somebody who's exciting to watch. But something else that's interesting about his little power streak he went on this week, he had just 5 home runs in his first 622 at-bats in the minor leagues, and then he hit 5 this week. So, yes, he had a great week, a great, great week for him. And he has 5 multi-hit games this season in 12 games.
Speaking of...
That's almost 50%.
Multi-hit games like that?
I can't do that thing, Peter.
Okay, at the time we were recording this podcast last week, our next special mention.
Oh, I did it. Ow.
Let me start again. At the time we were recording this podcast last week, Austin Hendrick was hitting 071.
Oh.
And since then, he's collected 6 hits and is now batting 280. But the most impressive thing, he's also collected 9 walks this week. So he's currently walking at a rate of 26.5%. Now, normally that's not sexy. But in today's game, that's sexy.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. Quick mention. Good week. Congratulations. Keep doing it. And you'll be on this pod more.
Yeah. Jarren Duran for the Red Sox. Did we only have AL guys this week?
Matty's but Cincinnati, the guy we spoke about.
So Jarren Duran for the Red Sox. He's hitting 283 with 4 home runs and 7 RBI and 11 games this year, a 998 OPS. This week in 6 games, 7 hits, 3 home runs. He had a 2 home run game on Thursday. He absolutely crushed one of those, and he had 6 RBI. Same day that the Woo Sox opened up their new ballpark, Polar Park. So he brought it in with a blast. But Peter, he hit another home run on Thursday that went 440 feet. And then he had a big RBI double on Saturday. So he is known for his plus speed. He stole 70 bases in 2018 and 2019. And he began the season with just 8 career homers. And again, this week he hit 3. And I think it's important to mention that going into the 2020 season, he made some adjustments to his swing. Matty Mass has that video, so maybe it'll be here.
Like he's gone from just sort of being a lift and flail guy to I'm gonna send this baseball somewhere where I'd like to send it. Yeah.
And he's been doing that.
Yeah.
So he made some adjustments to his swing to add more power.
It looks like it's working.
But the Red Sox did come out and say they are not rushing him. They want him to experience the up and downs of playing every single day. But yeah, he had a big week and he's really good and he has some pop to him, folks.
The Red Sox might be pretty good too.
Yeah, they're real, man. Watch out.
I don't know. Okay, Adley Rutschman. If you haven't heard of him by now, then you're not a baseball fan, but a number 1 overall pick by the Orioles, 2019. He had a decent week, but it's more the fact that he hit a home run off his face. If you haven't seen the video.
I need to see that video because I got a notification about it.
Yeah, so.
And I was like, how did he hit
That's
a
what
home
I'm saying.
run
Like, I read it and I was like, he hit a home run off himself. I'm like, what?
Did he have like numerous home runs?
No, he's hit 3 for the season, but that was the one that got talked about. It was a switch hitting catcher, athletic catcher. This dude's another one that's not too far away, could possibly be up there already, but tools for days, mobile behind the plate, switch hitter, can run a little bit, unbelievable arm, calls great games, is already showing himself to be a leader down in the minor leagues. So this is a guy that you could probably expect to see by the end of this year, I would imagine. But overall for the season, he's in 231 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs.
When you type his name into Twitter, people are so excited about him
Capitals?
that his name is in all caps. Yeah. We are very excited about Adley Rutschman. He hit a home run yesterday when he hit it off his face on Sunday, because I think he hit a home run yesterday. Okay.
Few honorable mentions. I know Peter said we only had 1 pitcher on there. Yes. There's a couple that we were tracking that did not have the best Sundays ever, so they didn't make the list. But Ronzi Contreras and DL Hall are 2 pitchers that are doing it. Cade Cavalli's another one that's doing it down there.
Part of the big 3.
Yeah. And then just a few guys who missed.
Alexander Ovales.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. 10 RBIs in 1 game.
What?
He got 5 hits, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs in 1 game. But the reason why he wasn't on the list is because he's only had 1 other hit in 30 at-bats besides that 1 game. So, hey, shout out for an unbelievable game. It's honorable mention. Keep doing it.
So, Researcher Will. We have somebody who's helping us. We love Researcher Will. Sign language. Gave us some rookie matchups of the week. Yes, sir.
Why do you know sign language for Will?
Because it's like the easiest name that you could sign.
Okay.
I think this is W. I don't know.
That's also.
This is I for sure.
And can be very
and this is L.
Okay.
I don't know why I learned this, but I did, and it's important to learn that. It's good to learn that.
Yeah, I want to learn sign language, but I'm just saying, of all the words in the world for you to know, Will would not be one that I would.
Because I think that's just easy. I know this is ILL. So we had some rookies face off this week. Triston McKenzie, who we haven't really talked about much on this podcast. He has kind of had like a weird season for the Indians, but he has been in the Indians rotation. He faced off against Jarred Kelenic, and Kelenic went 0 for 3 with 2 Ks against Triston McKenzie.
Tough matchup.
So he has his number.
Yeah.
Pavin Smith, a guy that we've talked about a lot because Pavin Smith for the Diamondbacks has had an incredible season ever since the Braves series.
Still looks like he's 12 years old, but go ahead.
Okay, that's mean. I was trying to look up his batting average, but it's not loading. But he faced off against Jordan Holloway and went 2 for 2 with a double and 2 runs. Jordan Holloway for the Marlins, he's like started some games, come out of the bullpen some games, but he's been pretty good for them. He's a 2.70 ERA in 7 games. Pavin Smith, ironically, is hitting 2.70. And Jordan Holloway has a 2.70 ERA. So those were some of our favorite rookie matchups of the week. Quick injury report, Peter Moylan.
Good.
Alex Kirilloff for the Twins. We were bummed out about him, man, because he started getting hot and then he got hurt. And it was the same risk that he missed time in 2019. They were concerned about it. He hit some BP in the cage yesterday, Sunday, and he expects to hit BP on the field today, Monday. And then they'll continue to progress to hitting off some velo and some off-speed pitches. But they said that he should have a sense whether he'll be able to play through this injury in the next week. If he cannot play through this injury, that means surgery.
Okay.
So
it's got to be one of those things too, right? Okay, so when you hear that they're taking swings in the cage or they're taking BP, that's one thing. if you know a fastball's coming and you can time your swing and you can basically barrel it every time, great. But when they start mixing in other stuff and you might hit one off the end of the bat or you might jam yourself, that's the concern. And I would imagine that that's what they're obviously waiting on. But yeah, as a wrist injury, and if he can't get through this and surgery is the option, then
I guess what I don't understand is why they say some people can play through this and some guys can't. Like, it makes me think of Mike Fultonevich, who had those bone spurs,
right.
And Freddie. Freddie had those bone spurs as well. And Freddie ended up getting the surgery. I can't remember what Fulte did. So is it like a similar situation where it's not a super serious injury? It's just the person's pain tolerance?
No, I would imagine that it's, I said no, but I actually meant yes. So just to restart that. No, what I meant to say was yes. It all depending on, and each bone spur is different. So if you have bone spurs, and
I don't know that Alex Kirilloff is bone spurs. Right. This is just what
I'm just giving you an example too. So for instance, I had bone spurs when I had my Tommy John surgery, but the bone spur was effectively lodged into the ligament, so they couldn't do anything about it, right? Whereas if you got bone spurs moving around, then it's fine. And if you can just like kind of manipulate your elbow and get it to move out of the way, then it's fine. But with a wrist, I don't know the ins and outs. It's something that, again, if you can tape it up and get through a swing, great. But if you jam yourself and something goes, I guess the question is, by playing through this injury, can you cause yourself more damage, or is it just going to make the injury the same? And it's just, you don't want to, you're trying to avoid surgery. That's the question.
Okay. Another injury that happened this week that was very sad is Corbin Carroll. He's the top prospect for the Diamondbacks. He was tearing it up in the minor leagues. He was hitting .435 in 7 games, and then he was hurt. And they're saying that he injured his shoulder while hitting a home run, which just sucks.
Sounds like a celebration a la Cody Bellinger in the playoffs.
Oh, gosh, that was not great. He's going to have season-ending shoulder surgery.
Go out doing what you love.
That really sucks. There have been people within the organization who say he's already considered to be big league ready defensively as a center fielder, base runner, 70 grade speed. They see him as a future leadoff man. He's been really good, and he's been really good in his whole time in the minor leagues, and season-ending shoulder surgery for him after a really hot start of the season. So that sucks. Yeah. You're going to know a little bit more about this injury.
No, this was a hamstring. Was trying to beat out an infield single, pulled a hamstring. This to go with the quad that he had that sent him down to the alternate site a couple of weeks ago. I just kind of really hope that he can go down there and get himself to the point where he's right. There was a lot of pressure on this kid to come up and perform when you've got comps of Andrew Jones, and he just hasn't been able to put it all together. We saw him hit a grand slam a couple of weeks ago against the Blue Jays in his first game back off the IL originally. So again, I just really hope that he can take a breath, take a minute, get himself to the point where he's confident. He gets him at bats down in AAA, come back and make an impact like we know that he was supposed to do this year. But again, when the team's struggling, you can sort of put up with someone who's not giving you the offensive numbers that you want. But when it's all sort of rolling down the hill and you kind of pull the e-brake, unfortunately you can't look at numbers and go, oh, we'll just work our way through it. We need someone that can make an impact now. I keep saying the Braves have Ender Inciarte playing center field right now, and Heredia just got activated yesterday as well. So they've got some options while Pache is getting himself right. But get right, Cristian. We need you.
Yeah, so I kind of threw Albert Pujols up to the top of the show. The only things that I wanted to note outside of things we've already talked about, Jack Leiter on Saturday, 6 innings of 1 run ball, 13 strikeouts though. Yeah. That was his 7th time reaching double-digit strikeouts this season. He did take a week off. They didn't start him last week.
That's what I was going to say. That was a little concerning for me, thinking that. But they said that it's all to do with monitoring the workload, which makes perfect sense. And he shut me up. I thought, oh man, here we go. But yeah, he came back and good on them for doing that. I know there's been a knock on a lot of colleges and the college coaches that basically just leave starting pitchers out to die. and not worrying about pitch counts. And so good on Vandy for.
Well, and
for
Tim
doing that.
Corbin had to make some tough decisions with Leiter early in the season when he was throwing 120 pitches in that complete game no hitter.
True.
And then the next game, he had a no-hitter going as well.
Yeah.
But Leiter is 8-2 on the season with the 2.05 ERA. Real quickly, while we're talking about Vanderbilt, Kumar Rocker, this season 11-1 with a 2.31 ERA in 12 games. So both of them are still looking really good. I've seen some mock drafts that neither of them are going first overall. So it'll be curious to see how those top 5 picks play out. But regardless, both of those guys will likely be going in the top 5.
I would bet my hat of the week on it.
Okay. Hat of the week.
Hat of the week,
Padres.
San Diego Padres.
What do you want to talk about, Peter?
Freeman got 250 home run. He's not this week. He hit one home run this week, but it was his 250th.
Well, then he had the grand slam for 251.
He did. Vladdy homered in 3 straight, which was not why we picked him for the homer draft, but congratulations to him. Otani continues to do Otani things. The dude needs some. I don't think non-Angels fans are appreciating what they're having the chance to witness.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because they've had Mike Trout for 10 years and now they've got Otani and they had the worst record in the league still. Yeah. So at some point,
crazy.
When are they going to look internally and go, what are we doing?
I mean, but from an outsider's perspective, Peter, because they also have Anthony Rendon over there.
Yeah, they got no pitching. Exactly, Matty. They got no pitching. But that's a theme. That's not just like there wasn't like who could they have gone out and got this offseason besides Trevor Bauer?
I mean, compared to their pitchers, Kluber's an upgrade.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that land in the 10 million range.
And well, when you're spending 25 or 30 on Albert Pujols, and then you're obviously now paying him to play for someone else. So this is why those contracts, you'll never see those contracts again for a guy like that. They're going to call it the Albert Pujols clause because you end up having a 40-year-old man trying to justify his pay, and it just doesn't look good for anybody.
I just want to see Mike Trout in October
so
badly.
We all do.
And I am glad. I feel like I have been able to see, for whatever reason, Mike Trout play more this year than I ever have. Like, I feel like they're on MLB Network more, which has been awesome because I never got to see him play. But yes, the Angels are an interesting pickle.
If you caught the game last night, Yadier Molina still has it, by the way, threw a guy out off the knee.
Did you see Jack Flaherty? He was like on the mic whenever Yachty was about to throw somebody out. It was good. Jack Flaherty's swag.
And Trevor Bauer was as nasty as Trevor Bauer can get.
And he put the note over his logo on his shirt. Said, "Not my." I was kind of surprised to see he had his logo on his shirt a couple weeks ago.
But what if a guy? Hold on. What if he's wearing dress clothes and he does his? Like, you're going to tell him what he can wear of his own clothes?
MLB just has a target. They just have a target on Trevor Bauer.
I get it, but if he decided to take a shower and get into his street clothes before he did the press conference, they can't tell him what to wear in a press conference when he's walking from home to the clubhouse. So why do you think you can tell him what to wear in a press conference just because he hasn't taken a shower and gone home?
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Stay in your lane, MLB. Like, stop losing fans.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to figure it out.
Tell him.
Golly,
Go
just a bunch of
Peter.
old men picking scabs off each other's knees. Like, come on.
Yeah, scabs.
Pisses me off, man. We've got the best game in the world, and they're just trying to find ways to make it less fun.
I think you should be commissioner.
I don't want that kind of money. I'm just happy. I'm happy with the John Boy pod. You know, I don't want the stress that comes with getting paid $15 million a year.
Okay. I want my word. I want my Aussie lingo, but I didn't want. Okay. I felt that you were.
I'm going to give you a choice of 2. Okay. You tell me which one you want me to use.
Okay.
Esky or fair dinkum.
Oh, those are both 2 good ones. Do we get the one that we don't choose next week?
Yes.
Okay. Maddie Mass, what are you thinking?
Second one.
Okay.
Fair dinkum.
Fair dinkum. Fair dinkum. I think it's like somebody's like a dingbat. Somebody's silly. Like, you're fair dinkum.
Okay. Maddie?
This is when you, in golf, when you drive land on the fairway, dink it up onto the green.
Fair dinkum.
Yeah, obvious.
Yeah. Duh. Why didn't I think of that?
No, it's way more simple than that. It's just it's an agreement. Like, oh man, or asking if someone's being honest. Are you being honest? Are you being fair dinkum? Hey, give it to me straight. Are you being fair dinkum?
Fair dinkum. Are you being for real?
Are you being
like
for
that?
real? Yeah. I know it's a lot less streamlined, and we are an efficiency pod. So if you're looking for efficiency, this is not the word you're going to go with. But
no,
fair dinkum. Like if you were I'll tell you what.
3 syllables.
I gave it a fair dinkum crack. I did. I gave it everything I had. I put everything I had into that. Fair dinkum.
Okay. I like the second usage of it. I gave it a fair dink. I gave it a fair dinkum effort. I bloody did.
If you really want to be Australian,
UK,
you
right?
go, I gave that an absolute fair dinkum crack.
I gave that an absolute fair dinkum crack.
You sounded very royal for a minute there, didn't you? I gave that a fair dinkum crack. I don't think the Queen would ever say fair dinkum, just for, there it is. Time for our Queen. But yeah, so if you're Australian, I gave it a fair dinkum crack. If you're British,
I gave it a fair
I
dinkum
gave
crack.
it a fair dinkum crack.
I gave it a fair dinkum crack. Bloody
So,
head.
Next week will be Esky.
Esky.
You know what? There's
I'm
so
into
many.
Esky.
Esky is just basically a cooler.
Is it
A
what?
cooler.
Oh.
We call our coolers Esky. I guess because they're Eskimos and because it's cold.
Like, I'm going to go get the Esky.
I'm grabbing the Esky. Do you know when we grab some ice for the
Grabbing
Esky?
the Esky. Esky, fair dinkum.
Did you whack the bevos in the Esky, boys, or shall I go and do it for us?
Love it. Love those two.
Yeah.
Way to go, Peter Moylan,
Thank you.
Melbourne Aces manager. Proud of you.
Thank you.
That'll do it, folks.
I will do it.
That'll wrap up this week's episode.
Got to leave.
Big AL and Mariners fans.
Cheers.
This week we are. Thank you guys
Thank you, guys.
so much for listening. We really hope that you're able to work in fair dinkum and esky into your vocabularies.
Into your work week.
A great week.
Yeah.
Great week in Georgia for the term esky because it's going to be getting into the 90s for the first time.
Take your masks
Get your
off.
tank tops.
No more
Thank
masks.
you to David Wright for our bat of the day. Thank you for Manscaped and Dugout Mugs for our sponsors. For Manscaped, you can use the code FARM for Dugout Mugs on Peter's gun. You can use the code FARM to fame. Dugoutmugs.com/discount/farm to fame. 35% off if you're one of the first people to use the discount. Thank you guys so much for listening. Farm on, farm often. We love you, farm to fam.